Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to the 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome you on this auspicious day, on the last day, Vijayadashami, or Dussehra, or Dasara, culminating at the end of the great female principle and power of the Supreme Lord. It is this power that we celebrated in these 9 days is the power that exists in the universe. The female principle together with the power. This power is found in your nuclear bomb. This power is found in your atom bomb. And this power is found when somebody gives you a nice, tight smack. This is the power of the female principle and energy. And I explained right at the outset that there is absolutely no myth in Sanatana Dharma. And it is only the female that donates the mitochondria DNA to the child. All other DNA is equally donated to the child, but it is only the mitochondria that is donated by the female to the child. And the mitochondria is the powerhouse of all the energy in your cell. And this is the female principle, and this is why we call the female principle Shakti, because Shakti is power, energy coming through the mitochondria. And on this day, sometimes it is on the 10th day, and sometimes it is on the 9th day, we celebrate victory, good over evil. So it will reflect Ram's battle over Ravana. My in-house Ravana is not here yet. Oh, is here? Okay, Ravana never loses out when I call his name, all right? So my in-house Ravana is here. Also, the battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna over Duryodhana, the battle of Mother Durga with Mahi Asura, and the battle of Mother Lakshmi with your 10 resident enemies and the commander in chief. All right? Not Julius Malema, your mind. Your mind. And today the hall is full because there is no EFF. Yesterday I had to get all my plants and animals to fill this hall because the EFF were coming. And today hall is full. All right? So this power must be celebrated. This is not a myth. Mother Lakshmi and the mother power Kali, Durga, Saraswati is not a myth. It is a personification of all the energies within you. It is the personification of all these energies within you. Sita, that does not mean you must get all these trances. Just live a normal life. Don't get all these trances. Enough power is just to live. All right, Sita? No trance. So we had a very good 9 days. It was interspersed with the institution's 8 years. I think my birthday, which was before the 9 days but was celebrated on Sunday, we had absolute and scientific discourses, and you know why we celebrate Nav Ratri. We also mixed up with religious leaders on Sunday. We had bishops, Maulana, pastors, and yesterday we hosted the EFF as a political party. So the Sri Narayan Dham, without leaning to any political party specifically, but being apolitical and wanting to educate you, primarily those that attend satsang here, and subsequently those that listen and follow my discourses, and ultimately to spiritualize and politicize your very being. Because you exist because of politics. Your entire existence is governed by politics. So I wanted to bring to you an entire range of politicians, because you know politicians and magicians know difference. They appear during voting times and they disappear after elections. So I wanted to bring them to you on this platform, and I wanted you to interact and understand different ideologies, different political systems, different policies, and the fact that this country has all 4 races, all the major religions, various traditions and culture make this South Africa the most unique country in the world. And I said yesterday, South Africa is God's gift to human beings. So it is our duty, those of us that are religious leaders, spiritual leaders, leaders of society, to make the ordinary citizen cognizant of the fact that the current state in this country is because of all of us. We have voted the wrong people in, and this political education is for you to use your vote very, very wisely. You really have to use your vote wisely. Our car guard is here. All right? You have to use your vote wisely. And this is why I've been spending so much of time and energy in bringing politicians through. Because we use this platform as a base to educate those through social media, nationally and internationally, don't we? So I wanted you to experience firsthand real live politicians. And every political party that came here was fresh, was clean, and was unique. And there was a resonance between our heart and their hearts. That fear of the EFF was dissolved last night. And if you go onto the EFF page, I have not been there, but Jessica has informed me that there is no negative comments on the EFF page. And that was groundbreaking. Instead of dividing, the Sri Narayan Dham is uniting. But whilst we unite, we must unite with the absolute truth. We must unite with the truth. And where political parties give assurances publicly and we capture them through social media, then we hold them liable for what they are saying publicly wherever they are saying it. We need, especially the Indians must not be used as vote banks anymore. The Indians must not be used as vote banks anymore. And I'm educating the Indians that you must vote for substance. You must vote for substance. Years ago, you take any Indian and put that Indian's photograph with the DA logo and DA name, and that Indian becomes a councillor. And that is the truth, Jessica. I had a milk truck driver who only did Standard 5, was a DA councillor in Ward 70 or 72 in 2001. Can you believe? He won on the DA's name. We want a councillor to have substance individually and then synthesized with his organization. The organization must not be bigger than the councillor, and the councillor must not be bigger than the organization. They must be synthesized. When they are synthesized, then you and I will get the promises that is made. So today, I was quite shocked watching a snippet of news on my cell phone from ENCA. And again, this country under the ANC is becoming ridiculous. Imagine the Minister of Defense and Deputy Minister of Defense held hostage. Can you imagine? And I spoke about it recently. Minister of Defense and Deputy Defense, whom we rely, when we put our head on the bed, we know our country is safe, held hostage. What is this country getting to? Then the Minister of Police, Becky Taylor, jubilantly, ecstatically is giving an interview in this ENCA. He said, I have a super specialized unit. I have a super specialized unit that went in at 10 to 10 and brought out the hostages at 10 o'clock. He said these great men of the South African police force can do this on air, in water, and on land. Yet this minister couldn't be found with this specialized unit in July when our country was burning. If these officers had that capacity, this country took many days to burn properly. When it was in embers, this specialized unit could have sorted this country out at the ember stage and not in the burning stage. Do you understand how ironical politicians are? I shared this on my face page. Please read this. Look at him, how jubilant he is. He is saying, I have this specialized unit. They can handle any scene. This same minister was hiding in a bunker for 3 days. This same minister. They only came out of the woodworks like cockroaches when the fire was out. Do you see cockroaches when fire is in its, when a house is burning? When the fire is out, then they come out from the nook and crannies. And this is what I'm saying. You need political education to understand how to use the vote. You need political education. And it is the duty of religious, spiritual leaders, lawyers, judges, prosecutors, the judiciary, to educate the country on the politicking of South Africa. In the aftermath of the violence that occurred and the killings that occurred, I saw a video of a gentleman called Neil de Beer for the very first time. At this looting, when racism was being sold by this same minister, when he could not inform South Africa why he was caught without any clothes, not pants down, he had no clothes on. When he could not inform South Africa, he made this a racist killing. And I told Jessica, I warned her that the South African government is going to turn their failings, and they're going to turn it, and they're going to make the Indians the scapegoat. 3 days before, they made the Indians the scapegoat. Yes or no, Jessica?
Yes, sir.
I kept telling you, watch, Jessica. At the moment, they're going to look for a scapegoat. And they use that killings to draw attention away from the inadequacies. So I saw a video of Mr. Neil de Beer giving his views in Phoenix, giving his views on this incident, and being a former military man myself, I recognize straightness and militancy in what he was saying. And I began following him, and I found the oneness that I was teaching at the ashram was resonating with his political outlook. So if you find him, he's always saying Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, San Bonani, and he's greeting in all languages. So I set my executive committee to invite this man to this ashram with the other political parties so that you can experience his movement called the UIM. His movement is called the UIM. However, Jessica, our political coordinator, with the information that I gave her, they did not, for whatever reason, respond to her. Notwithstanding this, the chairperson of this organization, Vishwadhar Ramanuj Das, has in his possession a volume of communication to and fro from his tour guide, Ms. Kruger. Again, no communication. Now this Mr. Neil De Beer of the UIM prides himself of being a man on the ground for the common people. He drives around the country, which I find very respectful. This is what all leaders should be doing, going and meeting people at the grassroots. Meeting people at the grassroots and understanding the problem. And I have shared many of his videos in his travels, commenting positively and helping him in his political journey. If on one hand you're a grassroots man, and on another hand you cannot be reached by an institution, the Sri Narayan Dham is an institution. If the Sri Narayan Dham cannot reach you in 2 months, then something is wrong between him, his administrators, and his committee. Something is wrong. Imagine if the grassroots people need him in an emergency where he is going right round South Africa and they cannot find him. If I can't find him, how will the people in the villages that he is going to find him? You understand? Notwithstanding what I'm telling you now, in this week I went on his Facebook page, live Facebook page, and I asked this question that I have stated on his comments. I said, if the Sri Narayan Dham as an institution cannot make contact with you for the past 2 months, how will ordinary people on the ground make contact with you? It is evidenced on his Facebook page. Then many people responded, and finally they agreed to attend a meeting today at 8 o'clock. I did not allow that 8 o'clock. I have it on evidence here. When his coordinator said 8, I said no, 7 or don't come. Then she forced Vishwadhar and said, okay, can Pete come and have coffee with the Guru if he is delayed? So taking the plea of Miss Kruger into account, I said, okay, he is allowed to come at 8 o'clock. We posted on Facebook that today Mr. Neil de Beer will be attending this auspicious satsang, because the only reason he's in Durban is to visit Phoenix, Chatsworth and Maritzburg according to his itinerary. And which race group you think he is coming to Durban to visit? Indians? So his vote bank in Durban would be Indians. We've been tracking his son directly, who's in the vehicle that left Buffalo City at 10 a.m. today to reach here at 8. And this is why satsang started late today, so that I could accommodate this man and give him this platform on an auspicious day on the Hindu calendar, where I always see him saying Namaste. I also saw him out of a court protest for bail hearing of these murder accused at Vedlam Court, where he said, "Today I am an Indian," when he addressed that crowd. And I was thrilled that this man is synthesizing our oneness teaching of the Sri Narayan Dham. So Vishwadhar, I asked Vishwadhar, because they're on a road trip, to continuously interact with them so that I can program myself to accept them into this great and divine celebration. So I'm doing this, I'm doing exactly what Neil de Beer does. He speaks the truth with evidence wherever he is. He speaks the truth with evidence wherever he is, and that is what attracted me to him. We are both military men. We are both military men, and we are both businessmen. He used to be in business, and I used to be in business. We have a lot in common. And if I admire his straightness, then he has to admire my straightness. And I have to give it to him how he gives it to everyone else. With the truth, with evidence. So at 5:30 p.m., they were 250 kilometers from this ashram. 250 kilometers from this ashram. How long drive is 250 kilometers within the speed limit? 2 hours? 2 hours? 5:30, 7:30, 8 o'clock you hear, 8:15 you hear is fine, isn't? But then at 6:50, they were 200 kilometers from here. Going backwards. Okay. Now look at all the Sri Narayan Dham did to accommodate this political party. We invited the Cape Coloured Congress. They were ecstatic. They responded within seconds. We invited Action SA. They were ecstatic. They responded within hours. We invited Active Citizens Coalition. a Muslim party, a party run by Muslims, ecstatic, overjoyed, thrilled to be invited at the Sri Narayan Dham. We invited ADEC, thrilled, excited to be at the Sri Narayan Dham. MOSA invited themselves and EFF invited themselves to this institution. Excited and ecstatic. UIM, we have been running after them for 2 months. Then I have to make a comment on the live face page, and because of that comment, they made a date with us today. Not today, 2 days ago this was confirmed. Then today, they ask or they tell one of the Durban coordinators to phone Vishwadhar and tell Vishwadhar that Mr. Neil De Beer will be tired after 8 hours of driving, and if it would be possible for us to cancel. Yet they are in direct contact. Vishwadhar and Neil De Beer's son is in direct contact with Vishwadhar from the morning. But they ask somebody from Durban to lodge an excuse of why they cannot be here. Our ladies were here from 12 today to make a special, only 5 of them are coming, to make some special meals for them, and this is the result. Then I asked Vishwadhar to phone the son and see whether the son is of the same opinion, and Vishwadhar says yes, the son is also of the same opinion. So I want to know. I called my committee in my kutir and I informed them, and my committee wants to know, because Neil De Beer promotes 5 C's and his last C is Christianity. So my committee wants to know that he is trying to evade coming to the satsang because he's a Christian, or they want to know whether he is trying to evade coming to the satsang because he's a white. And I don't want to keep these questions in my kutir, so I brought it out here, and I asked Vishwadhar to tag him and his organization on this live, because he also goes live every day. He goes live, and he has a right to go live and discuss all that troubles him. And I have a constitutional right to also go live and discuss all that troubles me. But I am not just talking. I am not just talking. I have a volume of evidence, and even all the evidence from today on this road trip. Now Vishwadhar sends me a message by them. We are 1 hour 14 out of Durban. Do you understand? After making a commitment to be here at 8 o'clock. So Mr. Neil De Beer also states that he gave his life to Christ and he is a religious person. This ashram is run by a guru. When you become religious, then there is a religious protocol. Don't you think it would have been principled of Mr. Neil De Beer? We understand they're on a road trip. Instead of asking us in a subtle way to cancel this appointment, don't you think he, in his principle, because his son and him are in the same vehicle coming down to Durban, and he is aware of the conversation with Vishwadhar, don't you think he should have spoken to me directly? As a leader of the UIM and all what he preaches, don't you think he should have taken that phone, got my number, and apologized? By looking for excuses to come out of this commitment, he leaves a lot of explaining to do. If he had an appointment with a church, if he had an appointment with the church and he was 2 hours late, Nirali, with the church, you think he would have allowed other people to look for an excuse because he is late? He would have found the church himself. If he was going to Belito to meet multi-millionaire white investors and businessmen, you think he would have found a local coordinator and told those people, listen, find an excuse why I cannot come? Or you think he would have found himself? Yes, these are the questions, because he has become a public figure. He wants you to vote for him. He is asking South Africans to vote for him. He is asking, this trip is specifically for South African Indians, because majority of South African Indians live in Phoenix and live in Chatsworth. So I have asked this discourse to be tagged by many people. And these are the comments that must come on this. And he need to remedy this situation. He messed up with this ashram. And he need to find a way to fix this mess that he finds himself in. And this is the reason I started the political education at this ashram. Because there are many political leaders that find situations and they become opportunistic in that situation to sell their political wares. All of you understand? All of you understand? And you must go on this page and you must tell this man how disappointed you are, because you came one reason to the ashram and you also came another reason to meet him for all the political promises that he has made to this country. Yes or no? Yes. Then each one of you must ask him, Mr. Neil de Beer, why were you rude to our institution? Because that is absolute rudeness. Yes. Once before he came to Durban, and total disregard. Once before we had planned for Neil de Beer to be here on a Thursday. During the day, all of you remember? Yes. I asked all of you, please take leave from work. Try not to go to work. Mr. Neil de Beer is going to be here. We'll meet him on the Thursday. And then, again, without any apology, with all our preparations, he just whisks himself in and out of Durban. You all need to ask him these questions, because I noticed on his page, there are many Indians that's liking what he say and are following him. He has led the Sri Narayan Dham down twice, and he need to come to the Sri Narayan Dham to solve this situation. Jai Sriman Narayan.